What's up, YouTubers? Today we're going to make this Hinderer XM-18 non-flipper with the buoy blade. This one is done with what's called ammo can green. Ignore that sound in the background. I'm going to go ahead and take off this G10, orange G10. I actually think it looks kind of sharp. But what I really want is, speaking of sharp, is I wanted to go ahead and do this green micarta along with the it's essentially a working finish that USA made blade has basically anodized green. They call it ammo can green. It's a little bit darker, a little bit less reddish hue than Hinderer does their battle green. So I really like it. They also went ahead and did heat anodize the steel hardware. I'm gonna leave that exactly as is. But before we do this, I'm gonna go ahead and Sasquatch wax this green micarta, because you're going to see the difference. Right now this does not look so good against it, and I'm just going to go ahead and basically go ahead and darken this up a little bit, condition my micarta. I tend to like to condition micarta. It actually gives it almost better grip, definitely, and it's just, I don't know, it feels a little bit more natural in the hands. So yeah, the Sasquatch wax is kind of my favorite these days. I've used Wicked Wax, I've used Obenauf's. Obenauf's I tend not to do on surfaces like this. I use Obenauf's for leather sheaths in the fixed blade world. Primarily because it kind of has, I believe it has a little bit higher content of beeswax, a little bit less mineral oil. This one, what I like about mineral oil is it's really easy to go on. Doesn't require a lot of effort, and the Sasquatch wax I think is a little bit more on the mineral oil side, a little bit less on the beeswax, though I think it does have beeswax in it. And then I'll just go ahead and use a little bit of this to get inside those holes there. So yeah, I'm kind of liking this, definitely for my micarta handles. Unlike mineral oil, this stuff stays on a long time. I've been using it on my kitchen knives that have micarta and wood, and this stuff really stays embedded for a goodly long time. So it's got a much higher viscosity than just straight mineral oil, so it stays in there a lot longer. You need to condition it a lot less. So in that sense, that's why it's kind of a preferred. So this particular scale is from Sharp Dressed Knives. Not a sponsor or anything, but yeah, he does great work over there at Sharp Dressed Knives. And yeah, this was $60. If you wanted a textured one, you'd probably want to just go for the full $100 Hinderer one, but I kind of wanted smooth because, you know, like most XM-18s, it's, other than the special editions and battlefield pickups, those sorts of things, it's smooth as well. And so with the micarta, I'm not forsaking a lot of grip that I would be on this, you know, against the G10, but a little bit. And so yeah, that's why I'm kind of doing this here. We'll just wipe off the excess, and we're basically good to go. You kind of take a look at it. Yeah, it's a much better match now too. So we'll go ahead and just wipe off that excess, and we'll start disassembling this thing. Yeah, Sasquatch wax made by It Isn't Dan, exclusively for USAMadeBlade.com. Again, when I bought this, so go check out Witty over at USA Made Blade. They do some great customization of things, and your warranty is not, you know, invalidated or anything. In addition to replacing this scale here with a micarta one, I'm going to go ahead and migrate this thing from bearings to phosphor bronze washers. Generally speaking, when you have a non-flipper Hinderer, they do lighten up the detent a little bit, and so you end up with a little bit of on the return, you end up with a little bit. Let me see if I can get that in. Oh, ow, actually, yep, see, we got our first bleed. So yeah, that's why I don't like these, because when they do lighten that detent, and then you don't have kind of the flipper to catch there, all for demonstration purposes, right? But it's worth it. So we'll just ignore that blood there if we can. All right, so we'll go ahead and start taking this apart, and I'm going to go ahead and use the phosphor bronze washers. I also brought out my strop Gosh darn it, I'm gonna probably have to pause this and go get a Band-Aid. Yeah, I am. So there it is. Oops, there it is. I'm gonna pause this for a sec. Okay, so as I was saying, the lighter detent in combination with no flipper to catch, that was not intentional, by the way. I was going to try to catch it with my thumbnail, but no. That's one reason why on these non-flippers, I do tend to replace the bearings with of course, this is a steel, basically spacer that goes in the channel, and then also the washer against the blade. So let's proceed. I will kind of hide that away. This is a 5/64, I believe. Yeah, 5/64 hex. Oh, by the way, I think I talked about this sharp dress knives. Not a sponsor. I'll move that out of the way, and we'll do my best here. I don't tend to do live ones, but I did kind of loosen these. Oops, that's right. On a Hinderer, you're going to always want to take off the pocket clip just because you want to set it flat. With these Chicago screws, they don't have a backing end, so they're going to all fall out. And by taking off the pocket clip, you can actually keep them in. And there will be various phases where you will need to keep them in. So we'll go ahead and get these guys up there. May end up doing some Loctite on those particular things. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and actually, you know what? I always start with a Korean won. Where's my won or my penny? I guess I have my penny with a notch cut out to hold this spanner in place, and we just bring our little wrench here. I might have to go off camera for this. It's kind of nice and loose. They didn't put it on too tight, so appreciate that from the folks over there at USMA Blade. So we'll go ahead and take out this, and of course this is nice and cleaned off. This won't have the normal prodigious amount of thread locker because they did anodize, heat anodize these, which it makes it for a great swap out in this particular context. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and use our 5/64 hex. Loosen these guys up on the screw side of these Chicago screws. Put this thing down. 1, 2, and 3. And this will come straight off. Which we'll go ahead and set that up there. This is all good. We'll go ahead and pop this guy off. So I'm going to go ahead and just take out the pivot there. I don't actually want these Chicago or these spacers for the Chicago screws to come off. So we kind of hold those in place. Take out the bearings. Oops. Sorry I didn't have this pre-prepared. So again, we're going with phosphor bronze. So you're going to need those spacers in there, and then we'll put away the Teflons. I'll just let those sit out because those are going to go back in that bag. I'm going to do a quick polishing on the side that is facing the blade. So I'll just basically get out my little stropping thing here just to do this slightest polishing, just lightly. Oops. There we go. Nice and clean. So we got that one working, going nice and clean. Again, you want to get the one that's stamped out, kind of opposite where the stamp starts on anything that's stamped like this, because for those people that kind of that basically replace your crush washers on cars, if you do your own oil, almost done there. Yeah, if you do your own crush washers, you'll notice that they're basically stamped out, and you always kind of want to have the side that has the kind of grab, so to speak, towards the oil pan. That's what I've always done. It may or may not be right, but it seems to make sense because I'm going to crush it into place, and I have some counter pressure against that. Again, I may be entirely flawed on this, so that would be kind of interesting. And we'll go ahead and go ahead and spray this and clean it out. Don't necessarily need the oil on the inside there, so we don't mind actually having a little more friction where the spacer's going to go in there. Going to again hold those three there, put the pivot in, and we're going to go ahead and put on our washer. Do a little drip drop of a couple drops of knife pivot lube, maybe 3 there. Do a smidgen against the pivot itself. Alrighty. Go ahead and kick out that one as well. Again, we're going to go into shoot, what is this one? This is going to go in the channel. I'm trying to ponder this one. I think that one provides the channel or the spacer. Gosh, you know what? It's been a long time since I've done one of these. Let me ponder this one. I may have to stop it and go look at a quick video to see. Obviously, I want the washer against the steel on this side. But do I want it on there and then the spacer pushing the metal, or do I want it against the flat? I think I actually want it against the flat, so I am going to put the spacer in here, and we'll find out if I've done wrong towards the end here. I imagine. Who knows, maybe we won't. Alright, put another little dollop, just one little drop on the inside. Of that pivot. Can never have too much KPL, right? Right. Alright, we'll go ahead and put this guy on. So I'm going to pretend that that's part of the metal that then has to rub against the outside of the frame here. So we'll see. Like I said, I will check after this, and I'll make notes. You know, I'll be able to tell. Oops. Oops. That's the one that I do want to have, in fact, polished. I want to go ahead and put the oil in there. So I stand corrected. I'm thinking the spacer goes inside the blade, forms the metal. I want the washer next to that. We're gonna find out. Like I said, if I'm entirely wrong, we will we'll come back and correctify this thing. Let's go ahead and put these guys out. 1, 2, 3. Move this out here and get these guys going. Alright, another 5 seconds. See, sorry, I'm gonna tighten them. Get going there. So the polish, again, next to the quote-unquote blade, but in this case the blade contains the spacer washer. It makes sense to me. I'm going to tighten that pivot on, and then I'm going to snug these guys up. see if the thing is square. Oh, it's so tight. It's not going to be opening. All right. Perfectly centered. Good action. Oh, so much better. Yeah, so much better. All right, we're gonna go ahead and snug these all up while we got it nice and centered. And we may snug this up a smidgen. I think it's a bit tight. Oh yeah, that's too tight. A little bit snug. No play. No guillotine action. That's probably about perfect right there. What I'll do is, I know what normally happens when you do this is you end up with a little bit of pivot walk, aka where you're, especially in this case where there's no Loctite on the pivot screw. So what I will end up doing is basically just carrying it for a little while, see the rate at which that pivot screw comes out, and then I'll take it out, basically alcohol clean that, put in just like a drop or two of blue Loctite, and then dial it in. But boy, it's definitely so much better now. See if I can still. It's a little tougher. I'm just doing that with washers, but yeah, this is so much better. And I think that, yeah, it almost goes without saying that the look is a lot better. The green micarta, especially oiled up nicely with that Sasquatch wax. I don't know. It's just a lot more subtle and uniform with this nice ammo can green. So I'll go ahead and put on the pocket clip and put the other stuff away. Like I said, I will research and see. I think it does make sense the way I did the washers on there. It's been literally 4 years since I've done one on the Hinderer XM-18. But whenever you want thumb stud action, I do find that going with the washers does better than the bearings, especially on the return. Just a lot safer return. And actually, with that little bit of polish, these are really nice. Yeah. Yeah, this is just going to move in nicely. So I hope this was interesting for anybody who is possibly looking at doing a scale swap, as well as swapping out washers for putting in the washers, swapping out bearings. I definitely find that this is the Hinderer XM-18 that I prefer on all fronts. Like I said, the comfort of micarta, a little bit warmer, not so dang grippy, but it's got nice grip to it, especially when it gets wet. You still have all that the jimping cut in to match the Hinderer ones from Sharp Dressed Knives. It's a fair price, $60. I think is a really good price for this. What I didn't do is I didn't weigh it, but I do find that my car weighs usually a little bit less, so it takes off a little bit of weight. The thing ends up still pretty well balanced right there where you would want it in that choil. So yeah, I hope this was interesting. If not useful, appreciate the like and subscribe. If so, have a great day. Take care.